Hello?
Hi Rob, we're Avtex. We're wondering if you'd be interested in reviewing one of our products.
Yeah, please, that'd be fantastic.
Great, it's on its way.
Hey, mate.
Hi mate, delivery for you.
Thank you, mate.
You're welcome.
Bye, mate.
Bye.
This is very exciting. Avtex have allowed me to review the newest TV in their lineup, which is the Avtex Smart TV range. Having bought most of the items we wanted for the caravan, we were still yet to get a TV solution. And with me having a very keen ear for good quality audio, there was always going to be a soundbar. Now I've done a ton of research and the only option for me was the Avtex range. But is it as good as I expect? There's only one way to find out. Let's get this thing unboxed. Look at that. There she is. Soundbar. And what's in this box here? Power supply plug, 12 volt connection lead, a remote control, screws, batteries, user instructions, guide, getting started. Brilliant. Beautiful. That really is nice. I've never actually seen one of these up close. That is really nice. Yeah, and it's slim as well. It really is slim. Oh, that's very cute. Wow, oh, that's nice. It's got some weight to it as well, actually. Made of metal. Really good build quality. And actually, when you look at it next to the TV, it's actually quite a nice size. What we got in this box: power supply, 12 volt power cable, bracket, HDMI phono cable, the Avtex remote, another cable, and some batteries for the remote, and the user guide. Nice, simple remote. So that's what you get in the box. Now bear in mind, this is not only the first time I've ever set an Avtex TV up, this is the first time I've ever set a TV up in a caravan. So it could be interesting. That said, let's get this put together, set up, and see how it looks. They're going in nice, they don't feel flimsy. Look at that. That is stunning. And the bar, it looks sleek. I can't believe how slim it is. Right then, let's get it put in place. Here we go. Right, first things first, I need to put the splitter in. I need to take this top off because I'm absolutely red hot. Oh, look. Oh, so warm. Splitter, that'll go in there. Cables. Okay, so we want the TV first. This one. Is there a difference between the two? So the two ends. You can kind of see actually it's got 3 pins inside there. You probably can't see. This is the TV. They're exactly the same anyway. Only one's got a 90 on it and the other one hasn't. Right, let's put the TV down. Where does this go in? Easy peasy. And there. How am I connecting this? HDMI ARC. I like the fact that they supply you with all the cables because I've not brought any. Goes in there. There we go. That's it. Okay, let's talk specs. This is the Avtex 27-inch Ultra Slim Smart TV, the W279TS to be precise. It has a resolution of 1920 by 1080, which means it's full HD, which isn't as common as you might think in leisure televisions. Weighing a mere 4.5 kilo with the stand, it has a width of 62 centimeters, a height of 36.5 centimeters with a depth of just over 4.5 centimeters. When they say ultra slim, they really do mean it. The display has a height of 33.5 centimeters and a width just shy of 60 centimeters. The screen also has a generous viewing angle of 178 degrees, both horizontally and vertically. Next, power supply, but I need to sort the aerial out actually, so let's sort the aerial. I need to undo that and then shove it up. I'm not really sure why I'm shoving it up. Can't imagine it makes much difference if it's up in the air, but so I've got to get this facing the right way, haven't I? I need to find out what way it needs to be pointing. Let me have a look at what other people's got it at. Right, he's got it pointing over there, and so is he. So we're all pointing in that direction. Right, that's where I'm going. Oh, it's pointing in that direction anyway. A tiny bit that way. Do you know what? There'll be an app somewhere that I can buy that tells you exactly what way to put your aerial. I forgot to put the coax cable in. And where's it go on the TV? There. Boom. The TV operates on 240 volt, 12 volt and 24 volt. It has the option of digital and satellite TV, providing both Freeview and FreeSat. With both options having twin tuners, you can record one channel whilst watching another, but more on that later. The smart function of this TV is provided by one of two options: a dual band Wi-Fi antenna capable of receiving 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz signals, or an Ethernet socket on the back of the TV. Other inputs include one standard HDMI socket, one HDMI ARC socket, two USB sockets, and one mini AV socket. It also includes one headphone jack output and one optical audio output. The 27-inch Avtex Smart TV at the time of filming costs £479. Right then, we're set up. I think we're ready to put the power in. Oh, I know what we've not done. Remotes. Remote's done. Let's put the power on. 1, 2. So we've got a flashing blue light. That was booting up. Looks good, doesn't it, Jem?
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's nice. I think that's a perfect size as well. That's 27-inch. Originally, we were going to go for a 21.5. I think that looks perfect size there. I do think it'll look better if it's on the mounted up a little bit, which will mean the soundbar can go back a little bit because it's a bit far forward. This is the Avtex Mini Soundbar, an all-in-one TV soundbar and Bluetooth speaker. Like the TV, it operates on 230 volt mains or 12 and 24 volt DC supplies. The soundbar measures 43.5 centimeters wide by 4.5 centimeters high and just over 6.5 centimeters deep, with a weight of 1.2 kilo. The soundbar has a 4-speaker setup, 2 front-facing speakers and 2 top bass speakers, with a total output of 20 watts delivered from the primary 2 front speakers. The 4 inputs to the soundbar are HDMI, an auxiliary 3.5mm jack and a USB drive. You would use the HDMI for connecting to the Avtex display and the auxiliary for connecting any audio device with an auxiliary output, for example an MP3 player or phone, with a USB drive capable of reading music on a USB stick or hard drive. The 4th connection is Bluetooth connectivity, meaning you can stream audio directly from any Bluetooth device. To control the soundbar, you have a dedicated remote or 3 buttons located on the side of the speaker for volume adjustment and audio input selection. Alternatively, the TV's remote will adjust the soundbar's volume when connected to the Avtex Smart TV. The Avtex TV soundbar and Bluetooth speaker at the time of filming cost £149. Right, so the TV is now booting up. I'm guessing I'm going to have to go through some sort of setup to get it going. Obviously, I haven't read the instructions. Who reads instructions? Press the OK button on your remote. Language, country, correct. Program tuning. Oh, so it's gone straight to tuning anyway. That's good. Antenna, yes. Well, that was easy. I didn't even have to do anything. It just automatically did it. So that's obviously part of the setup, which is good. Now we get to find out how good I am at setting an aerial up. Oh, it's found some. We've got antenna, digital TV, 9 programs found. We're going up. Look at that. First time Jem set the TV up in a caravan. Smashed it. Right, while this is doing this, I'll give you some more features. I think you're still mate. It's fair to say both the Smart TV and the soundbar come with some great features. Some you may expect from a leisure TV, but others not so, and are more safety features than aesthetic or usability. An obvious feature is the smart function of this TV. A smart TV is defined as an internet-enabled television that gives access to streamed content from internet video services, normally in the form of free and paid media apps, the likes of YouTube and Netflix to Spotify. They can also feature browsers for general web surfing and access to music, photos and videos from connected hardware devices. The Avtex Smart TV has access to a host of apps such as Disney+, Amazon Prime, Netflix, YouTube, BritBox, BBC iPlayer, ITV Hub, plenty to name a few. The list is long, and although the TV comes preloaded with a few apps, there's an app store so you can download others suited to your taste. The smart menus allow you to tailor them to suit you and customize them with the apps that you use the most. Along with this, the remote control comes equipped with 2 hotkey buttons for Netflix and Amazon Prime, giving you even quicker access to these services. Right then, we're tuned in. 128 programs found on the digital TV antenna and 33 radio programs found on the antenna. Brilliant. So there we go. We've got a picture. Channel up, ITV. Let's scroll down and find a HD channel. ITV. Start with that. I like the menu. I really like the menu. Really clear. There we go. That's better. That's a great picture. This is straight out the box. I've only just turned this on. Perfect. An energy conscious feature of both the TV and the soundbar is a small isolation switch. Although it's not something you're likely to use when on an electric hookup using 240 volt mains, it's a very handy feature when using your 12 volt leisure battery supply. To know that you can prevent both appliances from using up any of that precious battery power whilst you're off grid with just the flick of a switch is simple yet brilliant. Of course, you could just unplug them from the socket, but if they aren't needed to reach, the switch certainly is. Something I touched on earlier was the ability to record live television. This requires an external hard drive, but when plugged into one of the USB sockets, it gives you the ability to record live TV by selecting the program in the TV guide. It even allows you to record one channel whilst watching another, just like your Sky or Virgin box at home. One attribute that certainly enforces that this is a leisure TV is the wider than standard viewing angle. Given you're in some sort of leisure vehicle, you're likely viewing the TV from multiple angles. For example, you could be almost 90 degrees to one side of the screen, as well as higher or lower than it based on the layout of some vehicles. Avtex TVs have a 180 degree viewing angle, both left to right and up and down, meaning you can see the screen perfectly no matter where you're sitting. The next 2 features are for me the most important and make the Avtex brand stand out. The first being a safety feature called Intelligent Power Supply. Keeping an eye on your battery usage whilst off-grid must be something many don't enjoy when off-gridding, and having not had a chance to do it myself yet, I know this will worry me when I eventually do. Running out of battery juice at 8:30 midway through Emmerdale is not ideal, right? Well, that's the least of your worries, because without getting too technical, as the voltage of your battery drops, the electrical current used by your equipment goes up. As your battery voltage gets scarily low, your current gets dangerously high. High electrical current creates heat, and you don't need me to tell you where this is going. All Avtex TVs feature an intelligent power supply, so when your leisure battery reaches around 9.5 volts, the TV automatically powers down to prevent further reduction of your battery voltage. The second of these features is less safety related, more damage avoidance, and is called reverse polarity protection. Now, dependent on the manufacturer of your caravan or motorhome, you will have some type of 12 volt DC socket outlet. The standard lead used, and what comes with this TV and soundbar, is a cigarette lighter type. However, if you have a different connection, you may use cable adapters. In either case, when wiring up your battery or making new connections, it's quite easy to get the polarity wrong, meaning the wires are connected to the wrong terminals. This can cause internal damage to the TV or soundbar, or any appliance for that matter, and in turn be a costly repair, or worst case, a new TV. The Avtex TV range and soundbar have circuitry to protect them in these circumstances. So should the TV be connected with the polarity reversed, it'll protect itself and refuse to power up. The TV will operate by simply reconnecting with the correct polarity, and you'll avoid a costly repair. Lastly, although not a massive feature, it's worth mentioning the Visa mount. The TV comes with a removable stand. It looks great, it's solidly built and complements the TV beautifully. But should you want to mount this in your vehicle, it's prepped with 4 threaded holes for your Visa mounting bracket. Additionally, the soundbar also comes with a fixing plate, allowing you to attach the soundbar to the underside of the TV should you want to wall mount the appliance. If we turn the volume up, that's on the TV. I'll be honest, that isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's only talking, but it doesn't sound that bad. However, now let's turn the soundbar on. There's nothing coming out of there at the minute. I wonder if I've got to put it in a different setting. Maybe there's an output on the TV that I have to press. Clearly, I need to do some research and I need to read the manual because I'm not getting any audio through it. Obviously, I haven't read the instructions. Who reads instructions? However, let's try Bluetooth. Well, that worked. It's Bluetooth turned on. Avtex, there we go. Well, that can only be a good thing, can't it? Let's turn that off for a minute. Let's go with this. Okay, that is impressive. That is actually really impressive. Wow, I'm really surprised by that. Let's try something a bit more beaty. It's really clear and crisp. It's still got that bass in there as well. Come on. Oh yeah. Any minute now. That bass is coming in. Come on. It's nice. That's quite beefy that as well, and it's handling that bass easily. There we go. Bluetooth works, and I'm really happy with the sound of this. I'm going to give this a much more rigorous test than this. The next thing I need to do is work out how to get the sound from the TV through the soundbar. Instructions. So 8 months on, what are my thoughts on this setup? Well, first let me tell you what I was looking for. First and foremost, it had to be a 12 volt system because we intend to go off grid a fair bit. When it comes to the picture quality, well, it would probably be easier to say what I didn't want, and that was 720p, commonly known as HD. As much as 4K sounds the obvious choice in 2023, leisure TVs just aren't big enough in my opinion to warrant 4K, so 1080p Full HD was my stipulation. I wanted a sleek, modern and well-built TV that complemented the caravan's interior, with a size of around 24 to 27 inches. Not too small, but not too big that it takes over the whole living space. Given we pay for quite a few subscription-based streaming platforms, I know, it gets expensive, doesn't it? Well, I want to get the most out of them, so having a TV that can utilise these services was on the list too. Lastly, I have a thing for good quality audio, and I don't care what anyone says, speakers placed in modern TVs are, well, they serve a purpose. To give people basic sound. If your expectations are nice crisp audio with warmth and some level of bass, then you need an external audio source dedicated to that task. There, rant over. I want a soundbar. Instructions read. I do need to change a setting. So, turn TV on. Let's go to settings. Let's go down to sound, optical and internal. That's why it's not set right. HDMI ARC. That's the one.
Scared.
Got it.
What's going on?
I think it just took a while for the setting to kick in, but there we go. We're on.
This is a takeover.
I actually would do,
Yeah, see, I would as well.
Yeah, see, it's got a lot. You can hear the quality in it already, can't you? There we go. TV off. So we've set the TV up. We've set the soundbar up. You will notice I've set it up on 12 volt. Well, the reason for that is because I can't be bothered at the minute to set it up on the 230 volt because you've got the transformer. And really, I'm not sure if there's any benefit to running it on 230 volt. I will look into that. But for now, I'm happy with it using 12 volt. It's set up. It looks great. I was going to say it looks good. It doesn't look good. It looks great. It looks fantastic. I can definitely see us putting it on that wall somewhere. But yeah, I'm really happy. It's a nice time to just give it a good test. I'm going to spend some time now putting this through its paces, find out exactly what it can do, exactly what it can't do. I've yet to find out about the Wi-Fi. That doesn't help that the signal here isn't great. There is on-site Wi-Fi, which I'm going to get on, give it a try, but ultimately that's nothing to do with the TV if the signal's not great on site. That's just another solution I need to look for. Avtex. There we go. I'll crack on with that. I'll let you know how I get on. Let me start with the TV. The image straight out of the box defaults to a basic user profile, which is nice. It's sharp, contrasty and colourful, and for many would be more than perfect. However, if you're choosy over your picture quality, then I would say straight out of the box, the image is slightly too saturated. The contrast is a little high and the sharpness is also on the high side, but this is purely my opinion. There are 5 picture profiles you can cycle through, which you can find in the first menu. Basic, vivid, sports, movies and games. They are all personal preferences as to whether you like them, but I would say that the vivid profile is only really suited to a showroom because the settings on this are quite high. So I'd recommend going into the picture settings menu and tweaking the image to suit you. I prefer to lower the sharpness a little, back off the saturation and contrast very slightly and increase the backlight. With this, I think the picture quality is fantastic. There are also a few motion and advanced picture settings that can also be turned off if you don't like them. The screen has a matte finish which helps when the sun shines onto the TV and doesn't mark quite as easily. The image runs right up to the edge of the screen with no dark edges and loss of quality. As I've already said, I'm not a fan of the sound from TV speakers, but that said, the sound from this TV is really nice. They are rear-facing speakers, so they will always sound better when a surface behind the TV reflects the audio back towards you, otherwise the audio will be lost in that void of space. You get a crisp sound with a hint of bass, which is perfectly acceptable if sound quality is not your thing. I've also pushed the audio up as loud as it will go, with absolutely no distortion.
In 1885, the first luxury caravan named the Wanderer was created for Dr. William Gordon's stables. Built with maple wood and mahogany, it was a rather heavy outfit.
There are also sound profiles that can be changed. These are Standard, Cinema, Clear Voice 3, Sports, Music and Game. Clear Voice 3 works well to pull out and enhance the voice track if you prefer a more prominent voice, and Sports and Game profiles amplify the audio. So as far as TV audio goes, I've been more than happy with this sound. When it comes to this TV's aesthetic and overall look, I honestly think it's faultless. It looks modern with sharp, clean lines and neatly rounded corners. The rear of the TV is made up of a plastic back panel. The front has a screen surround of brushed black metal, with the front and back sandwiched with a neat brushed chrome metal strip all the way around the TV. Even the trim across the bottom has a 1mm shiny chrome bevel edge. It's such a small detail, but really adds to making this TV so physically appealing. I don't think anyone gets quite as excited as me about a beveled edge, but yeah, it's got a nice edge. Shall we move on? Yeah. The included stand is solidly built, again metal, with a chrome bar at the front and stippled darker grey metal bracket at the back. The whole build feels solid and it's got some weight to it. It feels well constructed with all the inputs and outputs located effectively. The smart aspect of this TV runs on an LG operating system called WebOS. This is neat, not overly complicated, keeping the smart menus uncluttered with the ability to organise to your liking. As mentioned, it has an app store and access to all the usual streaming services. It does have a web browser, but unless you intend to attach a keyboard and a mouse, it's rather frustrating, which isn't uncommon on a TV browser. To access the quick start menu, you can press the home button and the menu will pop up in the form of a bar across the bottom of the screen. This will display your apps in the most viewed order. From here, you can access the app you want, head to the App Store or browser, or go to the home dashboard, which gives you even more options for connectivity, inputs and controls. The smart operating system even gives you the ability to add your favourite YouTube channels to the quick start menu. So watching the Big Toast previous and next videos, it's even easier. Something to think about is that most, if not all, apps are updated regularly. So if you haven't switched on your smart TV for over a week or even months, expect that your apps will need an update and will take some time. Now, I recommend keeping the TV at home and updating the apps on your home Wi-Fi before going away, for obvious reasons relating to internet speeds at home versus a field in the middle of nowhere. That said, when the apps are up to date, the speed at which these apps load is pretty impressive. For example, when using the hotkeys after turning the TV on, both Netflix and Amazon Prime took 3 to 4 seconds to load. To jump into these apps after the initial load up took only 1 second. Now, for those of you skipping through this video every 30 seconds, I can see you, but I feel you, because I can be impatient too, but 1 second? That's good, innit? When it comes to the setup, turning this on for the first time guides you through the whole process of tuning the TV and setting up the Wi-Fi connection. Again, this makes sense to do this at home, mainly because you will need to download all the apps you want to use, and even the TV software will want an update. When it comes to taking it away with you, you'll obviously have to retune the TV when you arrive at your destination. As soon as you turn the TV on and it detects an issue with the signal, it automatically asks if you would like to retune, which is pretty convenient. One feature the Avtex Smart Series doesn't have is the AQT button on the remote. It stands for Avtex Quick Tune and can be found on all of the models. Well, this is the trade-off for having the smart function in this TV, as the technology inside doesn't allow for both features. So if you are an owner of Avtex and are upgrading, you may want to know this. I love the idea of the AQT button, but having never had it, I honestly can't see a need for it because, as I said, every time I've turned this on in a new location, it's prompted me to retune. There are a few things that I really appreciate about this TV. One is the speed at which it turns on. It takes just shy of 20 seconds to boot up fully the first time, but after this initial start, subsequent power on sees the TV fire up in 2 seconds. Now, that's with a function called Quick Start turned on. However, even with Quick Start turned off, it only took 4 or 5 seconds to come on. Another is the speed of channel hopping. Flicking through the channels is almost instantaneous, with minimal lag from pressing the button to the channel changing. Finally, it's quite common for TVs to reset to a default channel when turned on, that channel being BBC One standard definition. Why TVs are programmed to launch on a standard definition channel in 2023, I'll never know. But thankfully, when you turn the Avtex on, it goes to the last viewed channel, saving you the hassle of finding the HD channels every time you turn it on. This doesn't apply if the TV is unplugged for any length of time, of course. I want to at this point say nothing's perfect and give you some negatives. But as I'm recording this, I've honestly yet to find something I don't like or that I think could be improved on this TV. But if I find something, I'll let you know. As for the soundbar and Bluetooth speaker, well, it would probably be better to show you an actual comparison between the TV audio and the soundbar audio. This really is such an impressive speaker, especially for its size. Whether you're watching a film through the TV or playing music over Bluetooth, the clarity and warmth is fantastic. If you compare it to the TV, you get a much fuller sound, both crisper and much deeper in bass. Like the TV, this also has sound profiles. The default is normal, with news and music being the others. The normal profile is definitely the fullest sound from the speaker, with the news profile being very similar. It's kind of pointless. The gain profile is the biggest contrast, completely compressing the audio and removing some of the bass in the process. Like any soundbar, the speakers face forward, so you get direct and not reflected audio, which is the case with the TV. The two upwards facing speakers are for the bass frequencies, which don't require direction. They just fill the space with deeper bass tones. Now, I've pushed the volume on this speaker all the way up, and I haven't noticed any deterioration in quality. I was slightly surprised by the maximum volume not being awfully loud when connected to the TV, but let's be honest, that's not a bad thing. Anyone using this speaker up at those levels may want to consider their fellow campers. Having a Glastonbury festival in your caravan is not the one. I'll be really honest, I was genuinely surprised by the product's weight when I took this out of the box. Good quality individual speakers, they have weight to them, so given there's 4 in this, it gave me confidence the sound would be great. Not only this, the quality of the build is really impressive. Made up of almost all metal, it feels solid yet sleek. The whole speaker looks like a block of brushed black metal, which complements the TV's look. Setting the soundbar up for the TV is straightforward. Simply connect a HDMI cable from the speaker to the ARC HDMI port on the TV. Change the sound output on the menu to HDMI ARC and you're all set. The ARC port allows the TV to talk to the soundbar, meaning your TV remote will control the soundbar's volume and switch it on and off. When it comes to connecting a phone to the speaker, it's as easy as going into your Bluetooth settings on your phone and finding the speaker named Avtex SB195BT and pressing connect. If you want to add more than one device, simply press and hold the Bluetooth button on the remote to enter pairing mode and follow the same process. It's as simple as that. A nice little feature is that the USB socket on the soundbar's rear supports 5-volt charging, giving you one extra cheeky charging point to utilise. And worth mentioning, on the side of the soundbar, you get some manual controls to turn the soundbar on and off, change the input source and alter the volume. One thing to be careful or aware of is the output volume of a device when connecting via Bluetooth. The soundbar's volume isn't synced to the volume of the device, for example your phone. So turning up the speaker's volume from the remote won't adjust your phone's volume. The issue is when you turn up the speaker to full volume and the sound isn't very loud and then turn up your phone's volume, the speaker will very quickly become extremely loud and the speaker's audio will distort. This isn't a reflection of the speaker's quality but more from the input being overloaded. This would be a nice improvement if they synced the audio of the two devices so this couldn't happen. So So how does this fare up against what I wanted in a leisure entertainment system? It's perfect. It really is. It's actually capable of more than what I need, considering I'm using it in a caravan. Maybe over time I'll utilise more of those features. One of the biggest draws for me is just how great it looks. I love the dark brush metal look and how compact everything is, and it certainly adds a nice touch to the caravan. The audio quality of the soundbar is brilliant. The perfect amount of bass with a punchy high end, perfect for talkie and action films. The TV image quality is fantastic, with enough controls to tweak it to suit your preferences. And last but not least, the smart aspect. The number of apps available to download, mainly the streaming apps, is brilliant. The speed at which the apps load, in fact, the responsiveness of this TV in general has really surprised me. It doesn't feel laggy. You know that short but frustrating wait from pressing a button to the command being carried out? I thought that might be the case, but it was quite the opposite. So, who would this setup suit? If the look of a TV and soundbar is as important to you as great audio, a fantastic picture, safety features and a long list of streaming apps, then I would have no issue saying this TV and soundbar is perfect for you. On the other hand, if you care very little about the aesthetic of a TV and really aren't that bothered about the build quality, as well as the safety and energy conscious features of a product bearing little to no importance to you, then you may feel there's a better option out there. Maybe you just don't feel the need for smart features. Then maybe one of the other Avtex models would be better suited. One that doesn't have the smart elements, but does have all the other features that Avtex are known for. Now, some of you may question the Wi-Fi infrastructure of campsites not being good enough to warrant Wi-Fi enabled products, as could be said for the 4/5G signals available in remote sites around the UK. But in my opinion, it's getting better, and it's only gonna get better. Not to mention the products being developed and sold that already make better use of the available signals. Let's face it, we're of an age where this was once considered fast. Now, if you're new to Avtex like I am, it's worth pointing out that you get a 3-year warranty with any Avtex product. Now, I like to think that you wouldn't need that warranty, but it certainly instills confidence knowing that they're happy to give you this promise based on the confidence in the product. And when you factor in that this is, after all, a leisure TV, and unlike domestic TVs, these things get knocked, rattled and vibrated, including being left in extremely high and very cold temperatures throughout the year, it's reassuring to know that you're backed up by a good warranty. Before I wrap this up, one last detail that became very apparent when researching this episode was Avtex's customer service reputation. It's rare these days to read so many people speaking so highly of a company's customer service. It only takes one bad experience of poor customer service to see the true value of good customer service. Wow, that was a lot of customer services. Oh, and one more thing. Avtex have not paid me for this video. These are my honest opinions of these products. They did, however, gift me these so I could make this review, which I'm very grateful for, Avtex. Thank you. And on that note, it's been a pleasure. I'd love to do more of these. I really enjoyed doing this. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it and if it was helpful at all. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, tick the bell icon, subscribe to me on every social media platform there is. And if you've done all that, well, have a damn good week. I'll see you soon. I say soon.